Jenna's hometown is Cincinnati, Ohio. As an undergraduate, she served as Vice President of the Engineering Student Ambassadors and also as President of the Society of Women Engineers. She will relocate to Chicago to work for Innova, which is a global financial services company. So Jenna, I would ask that you please come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. I can't believe it was 5 years ago when I first moved to Ann Arbor. Thank you, Dad, wherever you are, for helping me haul all of my belongings up the stairs of Phase 2 that August afternoon, and to my mom, who to this day cries when I'm dropped off at school. I was so excited to be coming to the University of Michigan College of Engineering and thought I was fully ready for this next stage of life. At 18, I had no idea what was in store for me. Now, some years later, I can see that my time in Ann Arbor has been the most wild roller coaster of my life. And I am beyond thankful to be coming out as a graduate today who proudly leads Amazing Blue. I know this day has been busy and there have to be a million different things on your mind. Everyone's telling us that we're finally getting ready to enter the real world, and there is so much potential. And while yes, this is incredibly exciting, on some level it is also very uncomfortable because in its simplest form, this is a change. That's what I'd like to talk about today, change. We read about it, we observe it, we study it, and we ourselves go through it. The world is constantly changing all around us, but for some reason, when it is significant enough, it is incredibly hard for us to go through. You can read study after study about people and organizations that fail to adapt and make the necessary changes to survive. Yet, as graduates of the College of Engineering, we have learned to not resist, but to thrive with change. Think of the changes we've gone through in our time at Michigan, and how we are going to continue to challenge ourselves and the rest of the world to embrace change as we move forward. My first year in Ann Arbor was like those of many. I learned how to navigate the bus system, learned all the words to the victors, and the hard lesson that if you eat Panda Express too quickly, you most certainly will get heartburn. But beyond those lessons, I was still an 18-year-old who had a very narrow view of what engineers were and how exactly they fit into society. Among other things, I was naive, risk-averse, and a perfectionist. I thought that if I worked hard enough, I absolutely would find success. In that regard, Michigan Engineering has certainly changed me. Academically, I learned that it's okay to fail. In fact, I was even encouraged to do so. Several professors would tell me, just give it a try and see if it works. If it doesn't, try again. I remember working on a class project for Larry Seaford's engineering economics class, and my group continuously was getting stuck in our calculations. We would meet with him trying to see if we had the right answer, and would leave frustrated when he would respond with, "There isn't a right answer. I just want to see your answer." While it wasn't exactly the response my team and I had hoped for, over the years, professors continued to emphasize the importance of coming to my own conclusions and encouraging me to be comfortable with the undefined, a lesson that was really hard for this perfectionist to grasp. Beyond the lessons taught by professors, I also had to learn how to ask for help. My first few years of undergrad were certainly humbling, and I discovered it was okay if I wasn't perfect. I learned that it is good to take a risk, and fear of failure should not discourage me from trying. This was undeniably clear at the end of my first year when the Society of Women Engineers were hosting interviews for officer positions. Initially, I was too afraid that I would be rejected since I hadn't been the most involved student in the organization. However, with the encouragement of a friend, I hesitantly applied during the second round of interviews and earned a position. That first position allowed me to grow as a leader within the society and led to some of my most meaningful college memories. Had I not taken that risk, I would not be the person I am today. Through these academic and co-curricular experiences, I encountered and interacted with the diverse student body that makes up Michigan Engineering. I learned to broaden my perspective, challenge myself to see beyond the norm, and see the world from lenses other than my own. I am no longer risk-averse perfectionist, and have become someone who sees the complexities in the world, seizes opportunities, and engages fully as a team member and leader. Michigan engineering has completely changed me and impacted my life in so many ways, and I cannot imagine who I would be without these transformations. So, how have we learned to deal with change? From the basic equation of finding the slope of the line to determining the rate of heat transfer, we certainly deal with change. Change is inevitable, and as engineers, we have a role in not only determining what needs to change, but how it is going to change. In my time with the Society of Women Engineers, I explained engineers as problem solvers to children in our school outreach programs. According to this simple definition, it is our job to identify the problems in our society and propose solutions. However, at Michigan, we have learned that the most obvious solution may not always be the best. We have learned that engineers have a social responsibility to fully understand how our proposed change is going to affect others. We have learned to consider the discomfort and potential consequences of our solutions. We have learned to consider the impact of change. Unfortunately, no matter how much consideration is put in, rarely is change easy. Change is questioning the status quo. Change is not remaining static. Change is taking a risk. Change is making an impact on the world. As engineers, we will be dealing with change in all the work that we do. This may seem daunting, but Michigan has prepared us to embrace this challenge with creativity and consideration in our solutions. Think of the experiences you've had and the lessons you've learned that have influenced how you've changed here in Ann Arbor. Maybe it's the classes you've taken, the people you've met, the student groups you've been a part of, the research or internships you've completed, or all of the above. It's these experiences that have shaped the transformations you've gone through. Through these experiences, Michigan Engineering has taught us to be leaders in creating positive change, to fully embrace it, and to help others learn to embrace it too. That being said, I wish I had advice on how to successfully influence others into embracing change, but I don't. I could reiterate the step-by-step process lessons from my organizational development classes, but I truly believe that one has to learn how to enact positive change through experience. Regardless of what your plans are after today, change is inevitable wherever you go. Whether that's a large company, small company, nonprofit, volunteer program, grad school, healthcare, education, or something entirely different. We have learned to be problem solvers and will therefore always be finding improvements and proposing solutions to create change. As we leave this campus and go forth with the next stage of our lives, I encourage us all to remember the experiences we've had at Michigan. Remember the transformations we have gone through, and remember to consider our impact. The question isn't whether we're going to make a difference. It's just how we're going to make that difference. No matter what, I'm confident we'll see this world change for the better because of Michigan engineers. Thank you all for an unforgettable 5 years, and go blue.
Thanks very much, Jenna.